We're going to walk through the procedure of cleaning the carburetor main jet in a Yamaha 360cc general purpose engine. This same procedure goes for the Kohler CS Pro series engines, 8.5, 10 and 12 horse, which are actually made by Yamaha, so it's really the same engine, but this engine is now marketed in the US under the Yamaha label. This same procedure works on the Yamaha 300cc engine as well. So this is the carburetor nestled between the air cleaner housing and the engine. This is the carburetor bowl, which is where it holds the gas before the engine sucks it out and burns it. This is the fuel shutoff valve on this engine. Straight down is on, either direction is off. So normally to run, the fuel valve would be down. This is a new engine, so there's no fuel in it. But normally if there was fuel in it, I would turn the fuel off for this operation because I didn't want fuel running out of the thing on the ground. Come out of here, around here, normally this bowl is going to be filled with gasoline. There's a drain screw at the bottom here, and loosening that screw will allow gas to drain out the bottom. Since there's no gas in here, we'll just pretend there is, and now I've drained it out, so I'm not going to get much gas on my hand. Tighten that back down using a 13mm socket or a 1/2 inch. Loosen the bolt that holds the bowl onto the bottom of the carburetor. Now that it's loose, I can take it off by hand. Right there. Now sometimes the bowl gets stuck to the little gasket at the top. A sharp wrap with a wrench usually breaks it free. There we go. I take the bowl out of the way. Inspect the inside of the bowl, make sure there's no impurities. Obviously this is brand new, so there's nothing in it, but sometimes you get gummy residue or dirt on the bottom of that. That can be cleaned. So here is the main jet. It is this bronze colored fitting right here. Has a screwdriver slot in it and a small hole in the center, if this camera will focus. So I'm going to put the screwdriver into the screwdriver slot and loosen the thing. Pardon my camera work, I'm shooting this alone, so I can't always see what I'm shooting. So that's the main jet, tiny little brass fitting with a hole through the center of it. Now to clean that, you'll typically use something like a small piece of wire, or my favorite thing is torch tip cleaners. These are what you would use to clean the tip of an acetylene torch. They're a hardened steel serrated wire, and they come in various sizes. This one's kind of falling apart, but it still works fine. So you select the largest of the tip cleaners that will fit through the jet. That one's kind of loose. We'll go to the next size up. Whoops. That one's a little tighter. That one's a little tighter yet. That one's probably about as big as I'm going to get through there. Yep, well, that one barely fits, so that's okay. So that jet is now nice and clean because that's the biggest thing that'll go through it. So now we will reassemble this in the reverse order. Put this back in. The main jet here is the orifice that all the fuel has to go through to get into the engine. So plugged main jets are a common cause of engines not running, especially after they've sat a long time and the fuel has gummed up the carburetor and so forth. Tighten that down a little bit. Put the bowl back up onto the bottom, which I don't know if I'll be able to do this with one hand, but at any rate, you can use your imagination pretty well. You simply reaffix the nut, or the bolt rather, into the bottom of the bowl, snug it up, turn on the fuel shutoff, and you're ready to go. That concludes this segment. Thanks.